What's good, fellow investors? I'm back with my 7th episode of Royal Investment Therapy. Yes, guys, you know we've been working. I'm here with my 7th episode, and I'm happy to get it on today. So today my topic will be investing into a franchise. So, maybe I might have spoken on this in my past when I was talking about, just saving money and things like that. But because I've been talking about real estate, that has brought me to the topic to talk about investing into a franchise. Now, many people might think, wow, how could someone actually own a McDonald's or something like that? It's not actually owning the whole entire, McDonald's, the whole thing, but it's just owning a piece of that company. So there could be a person like, oh, this is their McDonald's, but that's just a piece of the entire franchise. So, there are many companies and many people who invest into things like this, but when you invest into a franchise, you have to follow certain guidelines. So, it's just many different areas of control. So those areas go from, uniforms to, like menus or dress codes. Well, like uniforms, like I said, but just as far as like rules and regulations, or even just the look or the style and location wise, you have to be able to meet all of the requirements to be able to compete and, be able to get into these franchises. So, today I'm not going to talk about all of the fast foods, but I'll just talk about, a franchise that is actually achievable, maybe in just regular people that go to work every day or, have a good job where they can accumulate those earnings. Like I talked about way back in episode 1 in October of last year, accumulating those earnings so you'll be able to invest into yourself. But you have to have the source first. So, that may be your job that you're going to school for right now, or maybe just any job. But just getting into the costs and expenses when we talk about franchising, just anything, not food or, it could be a retail store or anything. But guys, this is basically like, you can compare this to anything, any kind of investment. It all lines up together when you think about it as a whole. So when I talked about the stock market last week, you own a piece of that brand, but you own it virtually. So now we're talking about franchising, actually getting hands-on, walking in, talking to our employees. So starting out with the cost, it's, depending on how much capital a person possesses. So, I'm not sure where you guys work, but I know accumulating $15,000, in between $15,000 and $40,000, that's definitely achievable. People buy things cash on the daily, so these things are achievable, guys. But, so yes, depending on how much capital a person has, that would depend on what type of franchise they can get into. So, going into something that's very big, like maybe like cars or something, now, you'll have to step it up a notch and have, come to the table with more capital. But there are many categories for franchises, and that ranges from retail to food and drink, ice cream shops. And, that's, just think about an ice cream shop. So when you go to an ice cream shop, it's maybe like 3 workers in there. So, just think about that. It's not really too many people that you have to worry about paying and things like that. And it's not even a big old spot. So just something like Baskin-Robbins, or, I'm not sure what ice cream dispensaries are around you guys, but when I talk about Baskin-Robbins, the first thought that usually comes to mind when going into an ice cream, just going on an ice cream date, or just people, just thinking about when people come get ice cream. Maybe your business might boom more in the summertime, but there are plenty of other ice cream chains that are more accessible than Baskin-Robbins in terms of, like cash. So when we think about Baskin-Robbins, that may be maybe the top-notch ice cream in your area. But, there's other places like Cold Stone. Many people love Cold Stone. So, there's Cold Stone, Ben & Jerry's, Dippin' Dots, and yes, according to smallbiztrends.com, all of these franchises, they're, the price that you can get them for is in between $15,000 to $40,000. So that's the investment range, guys. Just think about it. $40,000. If you have a 6-figure job, I know for a fact at the end of that year, if you don't use your whole entire earnings, you can definitely come out on top with $40,000 to invest into anything that you want. Maybe it might be a car that you don't want to pay a note on. Go to the lot and drop the cash. You can get it. So, referring back to my blog that addressed saving money though, following those types of practices while maintaining a career job, you can make investments like this possible. So I'm really just using the ice cream franchise as an example, but I can't believe it. It's basically the same price as a car for an entire franchise. Do you know how much income you can accumulate from a franchise in a year? Yes, you have to, worry about expenses and things like that when it comes to, okay, maybe, the actual franchisors, well, the people that you're getting a portion of this company from, you'll have to give them a percentage. I didn't do too much detailed research into percentages and things like that you will have to pay up front, but I can save that for another episode. But today, we're just looking at how we could achieve this. So I'm actually interested, guys. I don't know how y'all feel, but I'm telling you, can't wait to get out there. I'm in school right now, but I'm ready to go. You see the N on my shirt. Junior right now, but so just getting back to those areas of controls and guidelines, that is a main thing that people have to focus on when they're running their franchises, and just a way that they can keep their business going. So looking at the areas of control like I was talking about earlier, just like how the operation of the business is regulated, location, design, and for example, when you think about a McDonald's food chain, McDonald's is the same. No matter what location or state you're in, it will maybe it will always taste the same, but if you go try to eat Popeyes in another state, a lot of people say that it doesn't taste the same. But, just thinking about that McDonald's, no matter where I go, I know the burger, when I bite into it, I could get the same taste every time. So that's you could just think about it. That's one of those food chains that will actually be, very strict on guidelines and make sure that their business is conducted properly. But, also other things that you will have to worry about with operation guidelines are the menu and uniforms. Like I said, the franchisor, enforces that all McDonald's have the same menu and things like that. So just even ingredients in the product. So that's how you come back and get that same taste. So when you think about going into a franchise, you have to actually worry about that control or worry about that top dog. You could think about it like you're your own boss, but at the end of the day, you still have to answer to somebody. But hey, I feel like a franchise, it would be a very great idea to get into that. So just think about those ice cream franchises though. When you think about it, start small first. What's one of the small ones I can get? Even a Dippin' Dots machine, just putting that somewhere, that can put some money in your pocket. So that even jumps back to another episode that I talked about, just talking about cash flow or good debt and bad debt. So that was Robert Kiyosaki. So the good debt and bad debt, you want to make sure that it's cash flow. We're not taking anything out of our pocket. If we're going to put the money out, we want to make sure that it's coming back. So that's all I wanted to talk about for today. But just talking about these franchises and things like that, it really pumps my energy up. So I'll make sure that I come back with some more information for you guys. But you know what it is. Royal Investment Therapy, episode 7. I'm out.